All right, so here we have Robbie Reyes, the all-writer from Marvel Comics, going up against Wally West, the fastest being in the multiverse from DC Comics. Now, these two characters are legacies, whether it be from them being passed down a mantle or from them just having the same job. But when it comes to how powerful these two guys are, words just don't do these guys justice. Initially, I had no idea who Robbie Reyes was until I actually did a little bit of research, read some of his stories. I still don't know everything about him. But when I read Avengers Forever and saw what Robbie Reyes could do, this dude immediately became one of my favorite Ghost Riders. I still like my OG Johnny, but Robbie is definitely hot on his trail. We already know that Ghost Riders with their base kit are just immediately overpowered, considering the fact that they can manipulate hellfire, soul manipulation, soul destruction, just a whole litany of demonic abilities. And then, of course, the iconic Hell Ride, them being able to turn some mode of transportation into an actual ride for themselves in order to just chase down whatever sinners are unlucky enough to cross their path. But Robbie Reyes takes it to a whole new level as the all-rider, as he is able to use literally anything he touches as a Hell Ride, whether it is a dead celestial, a symbiote, or even a freaking planet. Like, this is metal as hell. This dude was able to go toe-to-toe solo with some of the Masters of Evil, like the multiversal Masters of Evil, who are some of the most broken variants of villains that I have ever seen. You had the Ghost Goblin, a fusion of Green Goblin and the Ghost Rider, who was pretty much annihilating other Ghost Riders and was using their skulls as bombs. But when he used the skulls against Robbie Reyes, they immediately switched sides and started attacking the Ghost Goblin himself. And when fighting Doom Supreme, like the Sorcerer Supreme Doom, the dude was able to not only take a lot of his blasts and just heal from them, he was also able to use the Penance Stare and almost take this dude out. And he was using this stare even as Doom was ripping his body apart to the point where he was nothing left but a skull. Doom was still about to bite the dust. And he would have too if it wasn't for somebody named Deadlock stepping in because he didn't want Robbie Reyes to lose himself. He's able to touch intangible things like the Surfer's Board and even take this thing and turn it into a Hell Ride as well, even though he almost immediately lost it. This is something that Wally West will have trouble with, considering the fact that Wally wouldn't be able to try to phase through him. But his most impressive feat, in my opinion, was sealing the rift in the God Quarry, which literally no other being that was there was capable of doing other than maybe the Star Brand. They had avatars of the Phoenix Force who were all only able to just slow this thing down, and it was pretty much holding back like a dead multiverse, trying to come into the actual multiverse and just annihilate everything around them. And he drove his car into this, and despite his car being absolutely totaled, he was perfectly fine existing in pretty much a wave of multiversal death. Even Doom Supreme, or the Doom above all, was pretty much saying that he has fought gods, star brands, phoenixes, and that Robbie Reyes was the only one that came to him that actually felt like a challenge. Even though currently I think he's trapped in the God Quarry and without a way out, but this dude is absolutely insane, as even his Hell Car, he is able to transverse different dimensions via portals, as well as being able to travel throughout the multiverse, throughout time and space, stuff of that nature. Now, getting into Wally West, the fastest being in the multiverse, DC has lately been giving this guy amp after amp after amp, to the point where Wally is he is the most broken speedster in all of DC Comics. On top of already being stated to be the fastest being in the multiverse, he went on to even outrun the very concept of speed and time itself, the Speed Force. And then not only that, this was prior to him getting the Surge, which made him even more powerful. But after he gave that up, he came into contact with something known as the Deep Change. The Deep Change is pretty much omniversal time. It emanates in dreams reality with every thought. And Wally West and the other speedsters and the other Force users are pretty much its nervous system, in which it uses to map out or look at its own creation. And Wally is the one that pulls the most power from the Deep Change. And with Wally's new ability to step out of everything, to step out of physics and distance and vibration, even his own story, Wally West is essentially able to be anywhere at any point in time by stepping out of the story and then stepping back in whenever he wants. And this isn't done by being fast. This is done by his stillness, being able to pretty much just sidestep between realities. These realities include spiritual realms in which Wally is able to communicate and even probably interact with these beings. As we've seen, he was able to reach a heightened dimension in which he was able to commune with people who were basically the embodiment of math. Like their entire dimension was so high that humans can only see it as just gears shifting across reality. Wally was even able to interact with these pink blob things, which were literally the embodiment of the concept of emotions and feelings. This will mean that Wally can ascend to dimensions in which conceptual entities and conceptual laws become physical things. Wally was even going so far as to be able to go out of his story to attack the Archangels. The Archangels are these supremely powerful, higher dimensional beings that are pretty much just invulnerable to almost all harm and are the emanations of the deep change. These non-omnipotent beings were able to transcend infinite dimensions to the point where the only thing that was stopping them was the source wall itself. And a casual backhand from these beings were able to erase somebody from existence, like not just at that moment, but through all time and space. They never existed. To be honest, when it came to this fight, the main issue that I had was Wally West being able to actually kill or harm the spirit of vengeance, not just Robbie Reyes. Because I do believe at the level that Wally is now, Wally should be able to actually interact with the spirit itself while simultaneously interacting with Robbie Reyes' physical body and be able to attack them both on two fronts. And while he might not be able to actually kill the spirit of vengeance, he could at least contain it somewhere, like maybe putting it into the source wall. But yeah, I feel like after a pretty long battle, it is going to end up being Wally West being the winner, in my opinion. If you're gonna have a different opinion, let me know in the comment section. I know you will. And yeah, y'all be blessed. Peace.